Hello, welcome to the weekly WGK Glass Art live event. And as I had promised last Sunday, we will start with an auction. The piece Sandra made last Sunday here will be auctioned off. The proceeds will go 100% to the Chester County Food Bank. So Sandra made this piece last Sunday. I don't know if you have seen it, but it took her like 2 hours, so it's a quite time-consuming piece. And we will start our event ends in 2 hours. The starting bid is $50. Guys, start bidding, and now we are going to Sandra, and Sandra will show you this time first all the tools she's using to make these things, and then we will start with her live demo. So enjoy and start bidding.
So we're going to walk into the studio where Sandra is waiting for us, as Thomas stated. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the tools that Sandra uses, but she's going to explain to you the different things that she can use for making our ornaments and figurines.
Hello there, and welcome to this time live stream. So we thought that it would be interesting to our customers, to our fans in general, to see what kind of tools I'm using, because usually you will have noticed that I'm not using that many tools, but we thought we bring them all out that I'm using on a regular basis. And here they are. So let's start over here. These are tools that I'm using in general when I do trees. Those are leaf measures. They have a texture on one side in there, as you can see, which shows up in the glass in the end. So those are flash leaf measures and flat leaf measures, and those are the bent ones. So this actually I'm using for palm trees, for the bigger ones at least. And this is actually also a leaf tool, but this is for the smaller palm trees, and it's also for any kind of other trees or bushes that you want to do where you need smaller leaves, really. Also, it is for ears in certain pieces, like when you have I don't know, what kind of, a rabbit or something. Elephants, yeah. So those are the ears then. Then we have here, I put 2 graphite plates, a smaller one and a bigger one. Actually, I usually use them when you have standing pieces, that you put them on there and make sure it's really flat and it's not wiggling around. So those are always really quite plain. I also use them to put my frits on before I roll them on the glass. So this is important that I can kind of, that's why I'm having a bigger one and a smaller one. I want to have a hill on there of my frit. So that I can really roll on a lot of these. Then we have the graphite pedals. There is also a bigger one and a smaller one. Whichever, when the animals are smaller, of course you use smaller tools. Actually, this one is a mold on the other side, but I more use it as a pedal as well. But that would have been for marbles of a certain kind. I tested it at one point, but as I said, I'm using it more as a plate. Then if we go over here, we have a probe or a rake, whatever. I'm using it more as a rake, but you can also use it as a probe, of course. And I have a smaller one and a bit of a bigger one. This is actually something where I want to pull a texture into the glass, like I do with the eyes for the puffins, for example. There I would use, or also for the eyes of the dragons that I'm using this tool for. Then the next one here, this is actually a pretty special one. I love it a lot. It is a refill for a ballpoint pen. Let's see, it's just a ballpoint pen, and it's metal. It definitely has to be metal, otherwise you just melt it away. So it doesn't write anymore. We tested it, I think, last time, but I use it for eyes. I don't know what kind of eyes do I do with them. The penguins, definitely.
The herons.
The herons, yeah. Certain kinds of eyes I'm using these tools for. Then we have over here, this is actually one of the measures. We have several of these, but this is really my personal one. Yeah. So this is just if you want to have something flattened, a bit. Usually I can also give it a bit of direction if you want to have a head done or something. You can use it that way. Then these two these are tweezers. Actually, this one is more a tool that I'm using for texture, in maybe in wings or in the tail for certain hummingbirds or anything. This is a texture tool, and this is something. This has also a texture up here, but I'm not using the texture in this case. This is just to grab certain things off the cloth, like when you have some foam on there that you don't want, that would in the end crack the piece. Then you want to take that off, and then you have to have one of these tweezers. Then this is a scoring knife. This is actually something that I'm using most of the time for the bigger rods. So you score the cloth, and then you just break it off on the edge of a table or anything. This actually is the lighter. So you can, of course, use a regular lighter, but I mean, we're a bit fancy, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the tool to light a torch, and it doesn't get empty or anything. You just have to replace the tip from every now and then it goes from there. Then, of course, important, the glasses, the safety glasses. Those are titanium glasses. That's why they are purple.
Those are the fashion glasses you
Those
guys
are the
always
fashion
see
glasses,
Sandra
yes.
wearing.
They filter out the yellow in the flame. This is a sodium flame, the yellow. And if you look at it for 8 hours a day, then they really could hurt the eyes. It feels like you have sand in your eyes when you not use the glasses, really. And of course, it has the advantage that you don't see really, when you have that yellow flame on, you don't see what you're doing, really. It's more or less a bit of a guessing. So when this filters out a yellow flame, then you can really make sure that you do what you want to do. You see the heat in the glass, and it's really an advantage. I don't want to miss it, definitely. So we have two more things to explain. Then we have here, this is my favorite tool. That's the glass nippers. And what I do with it is really just cutting off any glass rod. Or if you have, like when I do the bigger dragons, I'm cutting off the handle from the dragon. It's pretty easy. Works like you would do with a scissors. Yeah, thank you. So it's really easy to use, and I just love it. It really is meant for, originally it's meant to use for little glass chips that you want to melt on the glass, that you can cut off then. But this is really absolute favorite tool. I don't want to miss it. And then last thing I put here is the rod rest. This is something that you really have to have on your table, otherwise you just burn that table. I mean, I burnt mine anyway, but that's a different story.
So when the rods are hot, of
when
course.
the rods are hot, you put it on there, and it makes sure that it's not laying on the surface of the. Of course, you would pick up some dirt from the surface of the table or anything, and you don't want that on the glass rods. So yeah, this is more or less the tools that I use on a regular basis. And yeah, that's all. There are not any molds, so to say, for a certain kind of animal. It's really just these few pieces, and then it really depends on which kind of animal I'm doing, if it's a bigger one, if it's a smaller one, if it has a certain texture. So it's more texture tools that I'm using. And the rest is really done by the gravity and the heat of the flame, and really where to heat up
And your artistic hands.
Yeah. That it is. So of course, what I also wanted to mention is definitely each lamp worker has its own tools. Most of them are collected over the years. I have some that are over 30 years old, and so I keep protecting them. They are not really expensive tools. Some of them are handmade by my own. So I even had tools that my grandfather made for me. So you keep them. This is like you have a treasure. It's like having a treasure. So this is what you do usually as a lamp worker. You can collect your own tools. And you really, I see that when we have friends coming in who are also lamp workers, they use different tools. They bring their tools. This is what you always do. And you don't give them away. You lend them, but you make sure they come back. So, okay, so as we are doing today, first piece we decided on is a dragon earring with dichroic. And so let's get some tools, because obviously they're not over there. So we need this one, then I definitely need this one, and maybe a plate. The glasses, definitely. I lit up the torch already, but for sure I'm taking this one. And then the nippers. The rod rest are still over there. We have some extra ones, so I put these here. And that's it, I think.
Okay. We'll follow you over.
Yes, I think I got it all.
Kathy says hello. Hi, Kathy. Hope you are enjoying your dragon. Today we're going to make, well, not we, of course not we. Today Sandra is going to be making dragon earrings similar to the one that you ordered last week, Kathy. So we are so happy that all of you could join us today. Here in Pennsylvania, it is semi-cloudy, semi-sunny, nice and warm, very pleasantly warm. Yeah. So we have great weather here, and just happy you guys could join us again this Sunday.
Yeah. So here's one of the other patterns.
And as Thomas mentioned, this Sunday, today, we are doing an auction. Thank you. Couldn't get the word out.
See,
we're doing
this is how I feel.
I know. We're doing an auction on the piece that Sandra made last Sunday. If you guys were tuning in with us last Sunday, you'll remember that she made a tree with a blue jay, and a cardinal. So we'll be auctioning that off, and the proceeds will go to the Chester County Food Bank, which will help many, many, many in need. So the bidding is starting at $50. If you guys would like to bid, just say so here on the screen and we can see your bid. And by the end of our event today, we'll see who gets to go home or have that lovely piece delivered to them, as well as helping out those who are in need.
That's important.
So what colors are we using today?
Well, I'm using purple. I decided on purple dichroic, and this is also going to be a purple. Now it's a bit crooked because I had it on
a preheater
so long while we were talking over there.
We have one bidder, Kathy, coming in at 50.
Nice one. Nice one. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. So the purple was on the preheater.
No, mind. The purple was on the preheater. But I still have to pull out a bit because I want to use that for the attachments that I'm doing, like everything that goes on, the wings, the tail, the tips.
How many shades of purple would you say
Oh, that's
we
a good
have?
question. Would you include the pink in that or just the purple?
Just purple.
Just purple. 3, I think.
Okay.
3. Yeah, I think it's 3. 3 different kinds. We have that bluish purple, we have the darker one, and this is the middle-sized wet purple. So this cools, while this cools down a bit, we can prepare the dichroic. So this is the amount that I need for both pieces. So it's of course earrings, both pieces. Now I'm trying to hit it right in the center. So both pieces are the same size. You can see if it worked. Nope, it's a bit bigger. Yeah, that's better. That's important to do that at the beginning because that really determines how big both pieces are. So if you have the same amount of dichroic, it's really, really likely that the pieces will be the same size too. Need something to hold the pieces, something short, huh? Let's go with these. Whoa. Okay. What I'm doing now is, this is going to be the handle. So I'm attaching a little edge of the dichroic, I'm attaching on that handle. So I can preheat a bit of dichroic before I really work with it. You want to come closer, huh?
Yes.
Okay. There you can sit on there. Yep. Okay. So there's the dichroic. I've got a bit of heat, so I can really put it in the hot flame. Then I start getting a bit of heat in there, so I can fold it. Because of course I want to have the dichroic on both sides for the piece.
Because the dichroic is actually black,
It's black
on
one
side,
exactly.
and the
And it's
purple, the color on the
The
opposite.
metal coating is on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's really just a thin layer, so you have to be careful how you heat it up and how you hold it in the flame. So it's folded and I closed it on top. So now I'm gonna slowly heat up the whole piece. But as you can see, I'm really careful that I don't heat it up too much. So
Right,
I
because it
don't
would
want that-
burn it, right?
It would burn the metal coating off. I mean, it was more difficult when we started with it. Meanwhile, we got used to it. But nee, habe ich nicht. Warte mal. So. Aber ich musste sehen, ob es noch funktioniert. Da ist nicht mehr viel drin. Yeah. Okay.
It's so,
She got
I wouldn't say
distracted.
funny, but I guess we could say funny. So funny how such a small piece could take a while.
Yeah, well, every attachment that's on there, every point that I'm attaching really takes time.
Right.
And with the smaller pieces, it's really that you need the time to really make sure it looks okay. You can't be too fast because you want to have the details right. So these are just the 2 tips on a second, how would you call that wave?
Hmm.
In a tail?
The tail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That whole thing is in the end is a tail.
With all the slitherings in it.
Yeah, well, snake-like.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of snake, saw my first snake in my basement this morning.
Oh, you saw your
First snake of the season.
Oh, gosh. I didn't see a snake yet, but I saw a groundhog the other day.
Ah,
Up there by the beehives.
okay.
It was a fat one. I called it and it looked at me like, "What do you want?"
You had a good winter. So it looks like Kathy is coming in at 80. Anyone else wants to bid? What made you think of dragon earrings, Sandra?
Well, actually, we started with the bigger sizes, and at some point, I thought that would look nice as an earring. And then I just tried a piece, and it really it looked interesting. I mean, why not?
Right.
It's with most of the pieces you just think of something and then you test it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it really looks okay. Sometimes you have to improve. But yeah, like we had the other day with the eagle earrings,
Mm-hmm.
but this is still in development phase.
I think they look perfect. You guys will get a chance to see them soon. The experiment with the eagle earrings.
Yeah, it's just one pair so far, just one pair of eagle earrings so far, and the one that I have personally.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a different story. It's just one. I never made a second one. I don't know why, but I never made a second one.
So you wear an eagle on one side of,
Yeah.
and what's the other side? You wear flower.
I always have to have a flower. Well, it's fancy.
I think so. It's different too. Hi, Rachel. How are you? I see your profile says I'm fine, so you're fine. Good to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in with us.
Oh, definitely.
We are bidding on the piece that Sandra made last week. Not sure if you tuned in with us last week, but she made a tree with a blue jay and a cardinal. When we go back into the gallery for the virtual gallery walk, you'll be able to see it. So hang on with us and you'll be able to see the beautiful piece that we're auctioning off today. And we're auctioning that piece off for the proceeds to go to the Chester County Food Bank to help those who are in need.
Yeah, and don't forget this one is really a one of a kind piece. It's just one of these.
Yeah, I love it.
So now I can go over it with a bit more of a general heat. And then it's done.
Let's see if we can focus in.
Try.
There we go.
It's
Can
with
you guys see it?
the
She's not finished yet. There's
No,
some
it's
other
not completely.
details that
Yeah,
has to go on.
yeah, there's still the tail that needs to be done. And
Kathy says you're unbelievable. Kathy, do you see the similarities in the sea dragon earring with your dragon that you got last week? And yes, Rachel, that is a purple baby dragon. She's actually going to be a pair
it's
of
actually going to
earrings.
be a pair, yeah.
Thanks, Kathy.
So this is always a difficulty with the small pieces that you really have to work detailed still, and it's just little.
Yeah. It almost gets lost, like the background almost gets lost in the background of all the shards of glass.
Yeah. Then I have to hold it in front of
Actually, hold it over here on the white.
on the white. Yeah, that works too. I
Of
like
course, not yet done.
I like this purple that I put on there.
I love the purple.
It's not completely purple. It's part of it is purple, part of it is not.
And of course, guys, this has the dichroic glass.
Yeah.
So whenever the light hits it or the sun hits it, it really, really sparkles.
It's gonna sparkle. Should we go outside and show how it sparkles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're waiting for you to do the other details, we're going to walk you out so you can see exactly what we mean about the light reflecting off of the dichroic.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully you guys can see it very well. Yes, they will be for sale. Yep. Actually, when we go back and do the gallery walk, we'll be showing those earrings in different color variations and different types of dragon earrings.
So let's go back over and we have to do the second one. The second one is usually a bit more difficult than the first one. Why? It's just simply that you have to copy what you did before.
So while Sandra is finishing that up and working on the second pair of the earring, we'll go back to the gallery and see what Thomas is up to, and we'll see you later.
See you.
Hi again. So let's go into the gallery again. And I will show you more of the earrings we are making. But first, I will show you the piece again This is the piece we are auctioning off, like 8 inches high. And it's a beautiful one-of-a-kind piece Sandra made last Sunday. Bidding, I think we get into the 3 digits, and the proceeds are all going to 100% to the Chester County Food Bank. Okay, so let me show you more earrings. So here we have the dragon earrings. You just saw Sandra make one. That's dichroic also. I don't know if you see it in front of the white a little better.
Maybe move your hands.
So they're also with dichroic glass, iridescent. They are with red. Of course, they come in different colors. Here we actually have a little different shape. That is with black. And the dichroic is in rainbow. So it goes from blue over green to gold and reddish. And if you look closely, they also have kind of cool faces. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but they all look very nice. And actually here we have them with the clear dichroic glass. Maybe it's better in front of the dark. And then you see the iridescence here.
So the dragons range from 49 with the non-dichroic to 69, 59?
59.
59 with the dichroic.
Yeah, because the dichroic glass is quite expensive as a raw material. So that's why there is a price difference. Uppsala, let me show you here. That's another dichroic here. That is a bluish one, which also changes the colors depending how the light falls onto the surface. And least not last, let's see, here we have glass ones. This is in clear of black, then you might see it a little better. So these are the regular dichroic glass, not non-dichroic sea dragon earrings. But it's not only the sea dragons we also do dragonflies. That's also with the dichroic glass. Here. And they come, of course, also without dichroic. Oh no, sorry, they're also with dichroic. That's a purple dichroic here. But they also come without dichroic. And they range between 39 and 49. Then we have another dichroic seahorse here. That would be also $49. And then we have, in regular glass, we have more earrings. Here we have a pair of cow earrings. It's one of Sandra's favorite ones, actually. But we also make the hummingbirds. We have in large, we make in tiny also as earrings. This one here. Here I have a different style and different color combination. And they range between $29 and $39.
We were just talking to them about the eagle earring.
Yes, here I see the eagle earrings. So these are Sandra's eagle earrings. Let me hold that in front of the black too, because it has a lot of white. And these earrings, they range from 29 to 49. Here we have
Blue jays
some.
are 49, right?
For example, the blue jays are 49, yes. And that's a similar blue jay, which is on the tree we are auctioning off today. But then we also have little regular seahorses without the dichroic. They would be 29, for example. And a lot of other animals. Then we have our smaller earrings here. They are 1950 a pair. And here you see some pandas. Here you see a cardinal. We have butterflies here, swans, elephants, even badgers. Little chickadees, snakes, owls, other style of owls. Here we have giraffes, frogs. So a lot of different animals. And actually these animals you see here as earrings, we also have as single ones here. Size of them. Let me take, for example, this little hedgehog. I'll put that on a quarter. And we have, I would say, we make probably over 400 different styles. You see, we have bunnies. Here I have a crow. I don't know if you can see it in front of the... We have insects, we have bees, we have fly creatures. Here we have a seal. We have sheep, we have pigs. We have sea turtles, orcas, and bambis. I think the Bambi is also a very nice one. And that comes standing in quite a big variety. Several of these, then it looks nice, or a little cactus.
How would you say the size differs between the cactus and the palm tree?
Yeah, the palm tree is quite a little bigger than the cactus, but it's also a little bit more expensive. Oops. And here I can show you a zebra. Oops. Now the cactus just fell down, but it survived. But here you see the size comparison between the zebra and the palm tree. Okay. Here we have a little unicorn. Birds, a kangaroo. So almost any animal you can think of. So, and these animals come also a little bigger. We have them here. Here's the hedgehog, for example. And let me grab the other one from before so you see the size difference a little bit. So this one was the tiny one I showed you before, and that's the next size up. So here we also have almost the variety of the little ones, maybe not 400 with the tiny ones, but we have mostly animals we have in tiny, we also have in larger, and actually we have some in larger we do not have as the teeny tiny ones because they couldn't be made that detailed as we can make the bigger ones, of course. So you see foxes, you see elephants, you see roosters and herons we had been seeing before. And let me also that you can see.
So people could easily match these up like a mama and baby.
Yes,
for Mother's Day. I think that's perfect.
Let me show you here the zebra and the Bambi. I can show you too if I find it again. It's hiding, of course, now. And here I have the little Bambi. So you see the size difference. Okay. And since we are here in this corner, I will show you our next product, which are the dog breeds. No, before, since we have, here are more of these medium animals. You see here we have skunks, we have badgers, cows, giraffes, chameleons, cats, penguins, a whole family, and nephews, snakes of course too, and all the domestic animals of course too. And then here we have our dog breeds. We of course, I think we have like 40 different ones. Here we have a Rottweiler, here we have a Chihuahua, here we have a Pug.
What was the first three you would say that we made?
I think they were a Dachshund. Was one of the first ones. I also think the Pug, because the Pug is very distinct and actually kind of easy to make because it's so distinct. And I think a Westie was one of the following ones, like that's a Westie. And they come in also different colors. They come in ambers and black and white colors, or after color. Here we have a Bulldog, for example, or a German Shepherd. They come in different poses also. They come standing, they come laying down, they come running. And then in the next shelf we have some functional glass, and these are our honey, sugar, jelly jars. Here we have the honey jar with a little cartoony bee on it. You can use that as a handle. It's quite substantial, so they're not so light and delicate. It comes with a little spoon, and that's the container here. And since the glass is frosted, it makes a very nice impression when you feel that, for example, we have a raspberry, and now imagine you put a red raspberry jelly in there, and the frosted surface of the jar makes it look really very pastelic, the color, and it looks really nice. They are dishwasher safe, they are refrigerable, so they are really meant to be used. Here we put a candy on top, so that's probably the sugar jar. And we have a lot of different fruits, strawberries of course, apricot, peach, plum, and whatever you can imagine. Okay, so that was the first round of our tour through the gallery. But before I let you watch Sandra again, I want to show you again. Sandra made this last Sunday. It took her 2 hours to produce that. It's a one-of-a-kind auction. Will go entirely to the West Chesapeake bidding, and enjoy Sandra in her second part of our. See you soon.
Thank you, Thomas. So we're heading back to the studio. And see what Sandra's up to. Hey there.
Hey there.
What do we have? Were you able to match them up?
I think so, but I just noticed I had a problem with the second one. So
Oh.
I have to fix the second one first.
Can we see it?
Yeah, that wing fell off. That was a little bit of a problem.
These things do happen.
Yeah, they do happen. It usually with the first one.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been almost completed, almost done with a piece, and then it breaks?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, I'm sure.
With the bigger pieces, is an hour
Gosh.
gone.
Yeah, I can imagine how frustrating that is.
That is frustrating. I could imagine that when you work on a furnace and you really do really big pieces, the big hard, the big heavy stuff, the vases that take like 3 hours to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have 3 people in or 4 people in doing it, and then it just breaks in the end. Is like, nah. I think that's even harder.
Yeah, of course.
But, I mean, Even that sucks. I kept looking at it while you already came out. I thought, is that broken? It looks weird.
Guys, thank you for tuning in and watching us today, being with us while you stay home and stay safe. Hope everyone is well.
Okay. Anyway, so it's on again. Wing is on again.
Great.
I wanted to finish that actually, but now it's hot. I'm not touching that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It has to cool down a
It has
bit.
to cool down. So it's the second one though. The first one is done. And there is the second one. And it does fit together, I think.
They're twins.
They're twins, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys just saw, the different colors that the dragon earrings can be made in. You've seen red, you've seen aqua, black. You've seen the clear dichroic, the rainbow dichroic. I think also, is it blue or green dichroic? Both. I think this was the green.
In between.
Okay. Dichroic. And as Thomas stated, the dichroic is a lot bit more expensive than the regular soft glass. This is the soft glass and a lot of colors.
Yeah.
How many colors would you say the dichroic comes in?
I think we are using 4, 5
Okay.
colors, I think. It's the rainbow, then we use the golden, the green, the purple, and I think sometimes the silver.
I like the silver.
I usually cover the silver with some transparent color. That gives a nice effect too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've used the silver in the dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice. And when we go back out to the gallery, Thomas will show you the different dichroic strips that are used. And Sandra cuts them up into these little pieces here.
Yeah, those are
The remainders?
remainders. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to throw any piece away as it's so expensive, that stuff. So I put it in that box, and whenever I have a chance to use them, I just do.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't want to throw it away.
So what are we starting on now?
Actually, that's another earring, more of a funny version.
Okay.
So I have to pull for that. Let it be a surprise.
A surprise? Okay.
Yeah.
We love surprises, don't we, guys?
So for now, it's just that I have to pull a bit of the white, and then I have to pull some of the pink
Mm-hmm.
for it, and then we can start with the 2 earrings itself,
Okay.
and maybe we can finish that red in between.
That would be cool. I think Rachel has her eye on them. Mm-hmm.
Do we have something that we can use? Oh, maybe this one.
The pink is so pretty. But the larger the piece is with the pink, you have problems, right?
Yeah, well, it's kind of delicate when you work with it. It tends to get a lot of stress in there, and then it just falls apart.
Mm.
It's like, yeah.
So that's why we no longer make the flamingos in the opaque
color,
pink.
no.
Mm-hmm. We use the more transparent pink. We used to make a really pretty cockatoo
Right.
in
Yeah.
the pink.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
No.
glass can be so unpredictable sometimes.
We would do it if it would make any sense, but it's just a waste. If you have to do 3 pieces to just make sure that one stays, it's not worth it.
I agree.
And that even with all the experience that we are having.
So earlier you showed us the tools that you use, and you would say the nippers are your most commonly used tool, along with the
My
lighter.
favorite one.
Your favorite
My
one.
favorite one. Yeah. I bought it actually because I wanted to do the morinis. You know, the small chips.
Yep, we have them out in the gallery. Or do you have some here?
No, that's something to. I have some here too. Yeah. I just need to. Oh, there. Those are the flowers.
Oh, flower marinis.
Yeah, those are the flowers. Yeah. The little chips. So you usually you work the you add on the outside, like you make a big blob, and it on the outside you have that black, and then you pull it long, that it's a, I don't know if I'm clear enough, that's a long stick,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to cut it into chips. So this is what the chips are in the end.
Right.
You cut it all the way.
So it's like a long
is-
string,
This is actually what
sort
it
of.
is. Yeah.
You pull, you're
Th-
stretching
kind of
out.
this way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you would just cut it into chips, and it looks like this in the end. And this is actually what that tool is made for. It's I don't know if we call it moino. I know it's called Klaus Nippers in the US. But definitely that's why I bought it, because I wanted to do morini, and then I discovered how helpful this tool really is. So
And you're mostly using these marinis for spiders and things?
spiders, yeah, I think. What did you say? Huh?
Yeah, sounds good.
Then let's do this one, and then we do an eagle later on. I don't want that. Where did I put that proper now? Oh, there. This is what happens when you get distracted.
Or when you're showing your age. Speaking of which, showing your age,
Oh gosh.
Sandra
Oh,
just
my
had a
gosh.
birthday last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody wish her a happy belated birthday. So she's needing glasses now and forgetting where she put
Oh,
things. She's being my mom, telling me to make sure I eat all my dinner, go to bed on time.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure that I ever did that. So there they are. There they are.
There's the dragons, the dragon earrings. Can't you guys picture these on you? They're pretty fun.
I think so.
Rachel says happy birthday.
Thank you. 1 year more.
1 year more. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know.
Oh, of course. What's the alternative of
We don't have
not having a
choice
birthday?
anyway. We don't have a choice. Okay, so let's start with that piece. Oh, it's nice. It's warm.
It's nice and warm.
You want to touch it?
No, thank you.
It's nice and warm. It's not hot.
You know, I
It's
don't
really- it's
play
really
around
nice
with the
and warm.
torch. So these are the surprise earrings. I'm
Yeah.
pretty psyched to see what they are.
It's gonna be interesting. And then we do the eagles.
Okay.
That would be the second pair of eagles then.
Guys, don't forget about the bidding that we're doing today on the piece that Sandra made last week. It is a tree with a cardinal and a blue jay. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And the proceeds will be going to the Chester County Food Bank. So make sure you guys are bidding. I will be showing the piece again when we do the virtual gallery walk. It'll help those in need, and you'll also get a beautiful piece.
And it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As I said, one of a kind.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could bid with you guys, but I'm not allowed.
I'm starting from the back, as I always start the pieces from the back.
Mm.
Like there.
I see legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has so far 2 legs. It's gonna get a few more. Yeah.
So you normally turn the flame down when the piece is small?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Of course.
Larger flame, larger piece, more heat that it would need.
It's not just more heat. It's also that you want to focus that heat on a certain point. So you want to be sure that it heats up where you want it and not the whole piece in general. With that, it would be with a bigger flame. You just heat up the whole piece and melt it all in again.
Okay.
What
It
I'm
sounds
doing
like a
right now
fly.
is that I just melt in the dots that I put on there,
Ah,
so they don't stick around anymore. So it's really flat on the surface.
okay.
And then I have to go in between the legs. That is kind of a tricky place, but I have to go there. That's what I needed the pink for.
I hope you guys can see from that angle, from this angle.
This will be hard to see, but I mean, this is really that I have to get so close so I see what I do there. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the back is done. I have to give it a flash because that white is a bit tricky as well, but not that bad as the pink.
Mm.
So I want to make sure that it doesn't crack on me.
For those of you who are watching, I'm not sure if you've already subscribed to our YouTube channel, but if you could, go ahead and do so. There you'll find videos that we do during the week that's not part of the live. So you'll get to see us making more of our work. And our YouTube channel is WGK Glass Art. You can also find the link for that in our profile on our page. Again, our YouTube channel is WGK Glass Art. Please make sure you go there and subscribe so you can see all the work that we're doing. Rachel, do you think that's what it is?
What does she think that it is?
Rachel said, "Here's my," and then she did 2 cow emojis.
Oh. Well, let's see if it's gonna be a cow. of the tricky parts again. Getting that hook on there without touching the head again. I mean, I still have to work on the head, but that hook needs to be close,
Mm-hmm.
not on the head, of course.
Rachel says, only because the little dots look like the ones shown earlier. That's right. We did show cow earrings in the gallery. Thank you for paying attention, Rachel, and remembering.
Mm-hmm. That is good.
Yeah, I think they are the cutest too. They make me have my little voice when I see them. Does everyone know what the little voice is? When you see something little, or like when you see a baby or a puppy, your voice goes very squeaky. I'm not going to do it because it's kind of embarrassing. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then you jump around.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that a few days ago.
With me?
Yeah, me too.
I do that sometimes when a new piece has been made and I come in the next
You
day.
liked it so much.
And oh my gosh. I get a little crazy.
I think there is a cow.
Moo. We are too much. There's a cow, guys.
There's a cow.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. We'll leave Sandra for a little bit and head back to the gallery. So we'll see you later. We're going to head back to the gallery with Thomas.
Hello again. Let's come to our next part of the gallery tour. But I was told I have to show our latest product here, our latest bird, and that's a Japanese crane. So we have almost. And then we have also gray herons standing here in different poses, and here a little puffin standing. Of course, they also come hanging and flying. So let me bring you here to this side. Here you see in the background the flying puffin. For the crane here. Heron is here.
Two different positions.
Yes. That's actually the regular position, but we found out this position in the little funny position, feet up. In this range we have our nautical, our insects, our exotic birds and our domestic birds. I want to start with the nautical ones. We have seahorses. We make fish in different shapes and different colors, as well as starfish. And now the sun is shining, and of course in the sunlight, I think they look the best. So besides our nautical ones, we have the insects here. We have some fat bumblebees, a little smaller bees in dark, and here in yellow. They are $25 each. Then we have butterflies. These are the regular butterflies. Here another one up here. But of course we also have the dichroic butterflies. And they come also in multiple colors. Here's another one. Here's a blue one. Let me take that off. I think you might be able to see it better in a different angle. Here. And then our dragonflies. They also come in dichroic. And I guess you can tell we like the dichroic glass a lot, because it's so nice and iridescent and glitzy. And especially with the dragonflies, because the dragonflies in real are also so iridescent. So I think that's the perfect glass for the dragonflies, but of course also for other animals. Go back in there. The dragonflies in dichroic, they're 36. And then we have them in regular colors. Here. So the next step would be our exotic birds. Here we have the big macaw. Here we have a smaller one. And as you can see, they also come in a lot of different colors and color combinations. Here we have an African gray. That's the smaller one. That's the larger one. Brand new, we have also that lovebird. Here we have it in a pinkish purplish color combination, but it also comes in green blue combinations, red yellow. Then we have the quetzal here in green, and really high up there in blue with green. Then we have cockatiels, also in different colors. Here another parrot, and actually here is the lovebird in different green tones with red and yellow. And then our fanciest exotic bird is our peacock. That comes also in dichroic. Let me see, let me take that off here. The body, and of course the tail.
Which dichroic strip would you say was used for that piece?
Yes, let me show you that, because we prepared some of the here. So here you can see that is the rainbow dichroic we use here for example. Oh, that's a different one. But this one is a rainbow, this one is a rainbow. And here for the peacock, for the eyes and the tail, we use this dichroic glass. Let me show you that here. It comes already with the dots, so we are cheating a little bit. But that's perfect for the peacock, I think. So let's continue with the domestic birds. The heron. Then we have little bluebirds. That's the small bluebird, jay. And that's the large blue jay. That's the little gray owl. That's the little, and here in amber. And here we have a new one, the snowy owl. And then they come in large too. Here you see the gray owl in large with the googly eyes. And here you see the brown one in large. Here we have a cardinal. It's hanging in the sun now, so the colors really pop nicely. That's the large cardinal. Here we have the small cardinal. Here we have the attacking owl. And then of course we also have eagles. Here you see our searching eagle. It comes as an attacking eagle here. And of course, it's also successful. Here we have a successful one with a snake. Here with a fish. And for our Philadelphia visitors, here we have the Philadelphia eagle with the football. In the eagle's colors, of course. Now, from these domestic birds, let's go to the hummingbirds. We have a quite big range of hummingbirds here. As you can see, it starts with that style here. The small hummingbird flying straight. Comes in a lot of different color combinations. Transparent, opaque. We have that one in several poses. That's the flying straight one. That's the one approaching the flower. And we have it looking down. And they also come with dichroic, of course. And here you see one with dichroic in the body. Let me take that off. I think in a different angle you might see it better. And that is again the rainbow, and here the raw material for it. Was the small hummingbird. Then we have one size larger, this one here, that also comes in a lot of different color combinations. Then we have a fantail here. Here in a different color, here in a different color, here another color, up here another color. And they also come in endless different color combinations. Here we have our curly tail. This is green with red. Here we have it in red with aqua. Here we have it in aqua with this one also in a lot of different color combinations. Then we have our aventurine hummingbird, an aventurine because I don't know if you can see it here. Let me take that one off too. Less oversaturated with copper, so the copper flakes. Yes. I don't know. I hope you can. And And they also come in. This was aqua with purple. Here we have aqua with red, aqua with blue, red with green, and so on and so on. Here's also a nice one. That's such a neon with teal. Then we have our hummingbirds in the flower. And we have actually two different styles. Hummingbird and flower in different colors. And then it also comes in open flowers. As you can see it here. Here. Also in a lot of different color combinations. Here we got our bee eaters. Bee eater is also a type of hummingbird, but it does not collect the nectar. It eats the bees right away. That's why it has the name bee eater. And then our fanciest one, this is our doctor bird. It's the national bird of the Jamaica. So you only find it in the Caribbean. And it's only the male hummingbird which has the double tail feathers. And they are also very iridescent. So of course we are also using the dichroic glass for these. And as before, they come in a lot of different color combinations. That's a greenish one. Up here, oops, that's closed. Yes, it's closed. Up here I have a blue one. We have red. So they also come in a lot of different colors. Then we also have some hummingbird feeders here. And that's a new system. It is not like the conventional ones where you have the rubber stopper and that little nipple where the hummingbirds feed off. No, here we stick the tube inside the container, and when you fill the container, the sugar water automatically rises in the tube to the top, and the hummingbird just sticks its little beak in there and can drink out of this one. Okay, this was the second part of our gallery tour, but before I let you watch Sandra again, I want to show you again the piece we are auctioning off today. This little tree with the blue jay and the cardinal. I think the bid is right now at $90, but I have to make sure. I didn't follow the auction for the last couple of minutes. Let me turn that around. It's a one-of-a-kind piece Sandra made last Sunday. And the money we get for that will go to 100% to the Chester County Food Bank. So guys, keep bidding. Okay, thank you so much. Now to watch what she's doing, and we'll see you in 20-30 minutes again. Enjoy.
Yes, Kathy, that is the Dr. Bird that you got last week in red, if I recall. Yeah, as Thomas said, we also make them in various colors: green, purple, aqua, endless color combinations. As you guys can see here, the raw material that we use, the different color glass rods. I think I mentioned before, Sandra always gets excited when we get a shipment of glass rods in, because there's always a different variation in colors depending on what chemicals they had to use to make them. Chris Bunsall says, beautiful. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. During our live stream today, we're holding an auction for the piece that Sandra made last week, which was a tree with a blue jay and a cardinal, as Thomas just showed you guys. And the proceeds will go to the Chester County Food Bank and to help those who are in need. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys bidding and helping us out to support the needy.
And here are the two cows.
They're
Now we
cute.
got a friend.
They're so cute. See, that's the voice I was talking about. That little silly voice that I do when I see something cute. I was that way last week with the standing puffin that Thomas just showed you guys. That puffin was so cute.
That was like, you wanted to put a standing puffin, so I made you a standing
I
puffin.
know, I love it. Guys, also, please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube at WGK Glass Art. There you will see different videos that we make during the week of different creations that we come up with, the brainstorming, all the things that goes on here in the studio. We're pretty crazy here.
Not so busy yet, but we are working on that.
Nah, I agree, I agree.
You have to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna do 2 pieces here for the brown. Number 1, then it's not too long
Mm-hmm.
when I work with it. Especially for the small pieces, I like when the rods are a bit shorter.
Okay.
But in this case, I might need a bit more of the brown. Next piece.
Next piece.
It's gonna be the eagle earrings.
Nice.
Brand new invention.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Regine says, hi, Sandra. Is that how you say her name? Regine? Regine or Regine?
Regina.
Regina. Oh,
Yeah.
I had that completely wrong. I am sorry, Regina, for mispronouncing your name. But I'm new at this Deutsch stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess Regina would be like Regina here. We would say
Yeah.
Regina.
Mm-hmm. We would pronounce it differently, but it's the same. Okay. Oh, there's something to hold it. That's nice and short. Okay. I'm gonna start in the middle. Ooh, too big. Too much power on the flame.
Mm.
That's when you're used to bigger pieces and you come back to the small ones,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to remind yourself that is too big.
Tone it down a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to be fast because the less likely it breaks, but still, if you're too fast, it breaks too.
Mm.
So.
Guys, if you could please share this live with your family and friends so they'll have the opportunity to see our work as well.
So, first thing to add is the tail. And I need quite a bit of material there because those eagles have quite big tails.
They do.
Yeah,
They're so majestic.
oh, see, I should have had other tweezers. Do you mind going over there to meet the other tweezers?
I don't mind at all.
The one with the red handles on.
Sure.
The red one, yeah. It's pretty old too, but still. It makes the texture. The texture that we love on the eagle. This needs to come off. I don't want that black on the white. Blue is still okay, but white on black, no.
Mm.
Only if it is in that piece,
Mm-hmm.
like with these Japanese grains that we
Mhm.
recently did. So this is gonna be the head, the neck and the head. At first I just do the texture in the body before I really form out the head. And of course I have to keep it hot, the whole piece,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all quite close to the flame. So I want to make sure it doesn't get any cracks. So I need to look down. It's like with the old one, with the bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. With
That's
the
just
hanging
small,
ornamental
yeah,
ones.
just small. Just the amount of cloth that you use is different. Okay, I have to reheat it again.
have to give it its wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still needs wings. It looks okay already so far, but it still needs those wings.
Do you do the hook after the wings?
No, no.
Okay.
Before the wings, it's just the inner part that I have to attach at that point. And then I go in for the hook and then.
Okay, because it would be, I guess, difficult to get in between. They're kind of like when you were in between the cow's legs for the udder.
Yeah, the problem is to have it hot at the same time. I mean, it's like I could probably do it at the end, but then the whole white areas they would have cooled down. And as I said, it's a bit tricky to work with white as well. So no, not gonna do that. It's really that you decide on a series that you work these pieces in, which really is depending on the experience that you have had before with other pieces, that you know when to do what. I think it might hang this way, but it's okay. Or maybe I should move the hook a bit to the back. See, this is what you have to do when a piece is still quite new. You still have to think about where you want to do the hook, because this is also the tricky part with the hooks in general, because as long as you work on the piece, of course you can't hang it because it's on the handle and the balance would be different. But then on the end you have to set a hook at some point so you have a good guess. That's all you can do.
And that comes with experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it works out right away and sometimes it doesn't. When you try to make it right the first time, but yeah, you can only do so much.
I agree.
Still making a lot of noise.
I hear it.
Usually
Sounds like a fly, a mosquito or something.
Yeah, we like a mosquito. Exactly. That's what it does.
Is that only when the flame is low?
Most of the time, yeah. It's pretty low then. But it's really the strength of the oxygen that goes through it that makes that noise. So when I reduce the oxygen, it's not that bad.
That's a cute
It's
little
pretty.
guy. Yeah. It's very beautiful.
Yep. So let's see how it hangs. Let's see how it hangs. We have a hook that fits in there. Maybe this one. Yep, it hangs like I said. It hangs a bit
Very nice.
tail down, but it's fine. It's fine. And I'm gonna take off that little bit of blue that's still on the tail. But it's too hot. I'm not gonna touch that one.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So far, guys, you've seen Sandra make cow earrings, dragon earrings, and she's going to complete the eagle earring while we head back to the gallery to do our last virtual walk for the day. But prior to going back to the gallery, let me show you guys what's new in the kiln. As you saw in the gallery, you saw hanging puffins, you saw the lovebirds and the cardinals and eagles. So here's just some of the things that were made from last Sunday to this Sunday. As you can see, we've been busy, busy, busy. Sandra was talking to you guys earlier about the marinis and the spiders, and I think Thomas is going to touch on that again while we're in the gallery. But the skull there is actually one of those small marinis, as you saw in the flower form that Sandra showed us earlier. So Sandra, we'll see you later. Okay, we'll head back to the gallery. Let's see what's going on. You guys see how beautiful it is outside today here in South Kenneman in Pennsylvania?
Hello again. Welcome to our last part of the virtual gallery tour. Now I want to show you our creepy creatures we have here. Here we have our creepy corner, starting with spiders, continuing with bats, dragons. This time we also put some flying pigs here and some witches on the broom. So let's start with the spiders. We have different types of spiders here. We have fantasy spiders and we have realistic spiders. In the back we start with the smaller ones. They come in a lot of different colors of the abdomen. The legs are always black. Here we have a blue one, we have a brown one here, we have a green one up here, we have a light amber one up here, we have one with black here. They are $29 a piece. Then we have more realistic ones. Here our Black Widow. Actually, this is the Australian redback. Redback because it has also red dots on the back, on the lower side of the abdomen. That's the feather piece. Then we have a slimmer piece here. You see the hourglass without the red dots on the back, but it also comes with the red dots here.
What are those red dots there? Like, is that just glass on the...
That is glass. You saw Sandra heating the glass rod, so she shapes the glass. She heats a red glass rod and attaches these pieces like the little black dots on the cow earrings and melts it into the surface so they're not raised anymore. They're kind of plain with the body. Then we have the aventurine spiders here. Let me take that off. It is similar to the aventurine hummingbirds I showed you before. And I don't know if you can see the sparkling, but it makes a very nice effect, especially when you can hang them in the windows. This would be 50 for skull spiders here, with a skull in the abdomen. And that skull you saw before, Sandra showed you the flowers. That's how small it is. We also make them ourselves, these canes, cut them in little slices, and then melt them onto the surface. See the hourglass, for example.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was on that spider.
Yeah. And then our fanciest spiders are the galaxy. So you can see the iridescence of the dichroic glass.
What made you start designing spiders?
Yeah, I personally like creepy creatures a lot, like also the dragons. So we couldn't miss spiders, of course. And that's when we started doing spiders. And actually, they are quite successful because they're not very many glass blowers doing glass. As I showed you before, they can crawl down or up. That's another dichroic one with purple dichroic here. And that goes up or down, however you want it. Here we have our bats. That's a flying bat. Here we have it as a sleeping bat. And we have them in different poses also. This is a bat really sleeping deeply, the wings totally wrapped around the body. Here we have it waking up already a little bit, so it starts spreading the wings before they start taking off. I showed you the witches already on the broom and the flying pigs. And then we have the dragons. That's our love dragon here with the hearts. The little sea dragon. Here it comes without the hearts as a regular sea dragon in small. Then they of course come in large also, in a lot of different colors and color combinations. And then we have them in dichroic also, like this one. No, that's not actually, that's a dichroic one, yes. Also that I can show that to you a little better. This is the dichroic glass. Sorry, we dropped the camera. So here you can see the dichroic glass. So that was the sea dragon. Then we have, of course, more. Here we have our guardian dragon in red. Here we have it in black. Here we have it in orange. And actually, I'll take that one off too. In that spiral inside the body of the dragon. Then we have our, they are already quite a bit bigger, also with the dichroic glass. I'll take that off too. Now the sun is hiding, but I hope you still can see the iridescence. That is a dichroic green to blue, not a rainbow. Then we have our long dragons here. That's probably our longest dragon with a grim face. Then we have our long white dragons here. That's the large one. They also come in smaller. And I will show you how they look when they stand. We have them here in these shelves. Here is a black one, for example. That's the large one, also with dichroic.
Sturdy glass.
Sturdy glass. And that's the small one. And they can hang and stand, as well as the sea dragons. You see here the sea dragon, they also can stand up, but they have the hook, the loop, that you can hang it up. Here in different colors. That's again one with the clear dichroic. In gold and green. And here we have some beetles also. That's the Sudanese long-tailed. I don't know if you can see this tiny antennas, the tiny little feet with the individual segments. Also with the dichroic glass, of course, because they're also very iridescent in real. That was a bigger one. Here's a tiny, tiny one. Here we have the violet one. You're looking at, it becomes green even. At least not last here, the very popular earwig. But that's not dichroic glass because they're not iridescent. Then we have also our snakes here. This one, the big one here. We hold that into the light. Also with the dichroic glass. And here I also have one in clear.
Do we also make snakes without dichro?
We also make snakes without dichro. This is this one here. And the difference, the price difference, for example, this one costs 98. The same size in dichroic is 145. So it's quite a bit a difference. It's the same with the dragons. Here we have a double-headed dragon with the same glass, which has a very high silver content, this glass. And I can show you also a glass rod. This is the glass rod. So depending how you heat it, it gets different shades of colors. So the more often you heat it, the more it changes from the beige to blue, turquoise, and purple. Here you see another snake on the windowsill. And since we are with the creepy creatures, I can show you some pieces here John is making. And actually we plan to have an interview with John next Sunday. It's not for sure yet because it's not so easy to get a hold of John because he is constantly on the run and has exhibitions and does a lot of things. But these are pieces John is doing. He is specialized in human figurines. Here you see an harlequin.
How tall would you say this piece is?
Yeah, I would say that's probably like 12 inches. Here you see a dominatrix. And she also has a little bit of dichroic glass here in her hair. And if you don't behave, she's going to use her whip. In the background, you see a skeleton, and it actually has a name because you might know there's a very famous scholar by Rodin. This skeleton is named "He Had Been Thinking Too Long." He also does creepy devil figurines, but they are very detailed. Let me show you this one with the dichroic sword. You see the muscles, the expression in the face, even the shoulder blades you can see. And the motion is very strong, I think. Here's another warrior, a little smaller, also with the dichroic sword. Here we have another one, welcoming you. Also some dichroic horns in purple. Also fantastically executed. Look at the fingers, how he's holding his hands. These are all one-of-a-kind pieces. And of course, they're a little bit different from the price range. Here we have a tango dancing couple. And these pieces range from in the 500s up to 2,000 a piece. And least not last, we have some aliens here. They're also made by John. Also one with a skull here. Bigger ones, smaller ones, that's also a whole family. And to show you here with dichroic glass. So that's a quite big piece. A piece like that would be around $1,000. This big one with the dichroic. Here's the smaller piece. That would be, there's actually a price on it, $395. And everything in between. So, and then I still have something to show you. Some of John's dancers. Since I told you he's very good with human figurines. Let me take that over here. See the flexibility of the glass. You wouldn't believe how flexible tutu skirt. He wraps around the dancer. Here's a different one. And another. So this was the galleries tour. Though before I let you go to Sandra again, let me show you for the last time the piece we are auctioning off today. This beautiful one-of-a-kind piece. The blue jay and the cardinal on the tree. And the proceeds will go to the Chester County Food Bank. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll guide you back to Sandra. Just follow me. And let's see how far Sandra is with her eagle earrings.
As good as done.
Thank you, Bianca. Yes, Kathy, I think it is still at your price, I believe.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Those are the eagles.
They're
a bit-
gorgeous.
They're a bit bigger than the dragons. If I can put the dragons. So those are quite a bit smaller, but still.
Maybe we should lay them all out that you did today.
Yep. I can put them over there.
So glad you guys could join us today, and thank you for participating in the auction. As we mentioned, the proceeds will go to the Chester County Food Bank to help those who are in need. as we know a lot of people are at this time. So we want to do our part in giving back and practicing the law of reciprocity.
Here we are.
Okay, so that's what Sandra did today. And we are done with the auction. Kathy gets the beautiful piece for $90. Kathy,
Next one.
congratulations. You got a fantastic
Yay,
piece.
Kathy!
And as I said before, the money will go to 100% to the Westchester County Food Bank. Thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you will be with us next Sunday, and I hope we will manage technically and in other ways to have John with us next week.
We'll do our best.
We will do our best, exactly. And take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.